Good morning, this is Rachel from Knowing in Nature. I'm going to have a yarn about what is identified as acknowledgement to country. Over the years I've watched this emerge as a thing. The reason I feel like talking about it right now is I'm travelling around Australia and dropping in at different places along the way. You'll often find information centres, and I'm always curious to see what information is actually in those centres, how much history does it cover, blah blah blah. You know, I find it interesting either way as to what's in there and also as to what's not in there, but it also, you know, that provides us an opportunity as to what could be in there. Depends on who lives in that town and who's interested and who's motivated to contribute to that. But coming back to acknowledgement of country, why would I even bother talking about this? It is because people over the years have asked me to do an acknowledgement to country. When I've worked for different organisations, you kind of, for those that don't know, my background through my mother and grandmother's line is Whale and Gamilaroi. So I'm an Indigenous person of the northwest New South Wales region. And when you identify yourself as an Indigenous person, Aboriginal First Peoples, you work for an organisation, strangely you become the go-to person to do an acknowledgement to country, you know, for events that organisation might be doing, or their morning meeting, their team meetings. So I find it quite strange, but fascinating at the same time. I find it strange because it's become a thing to do an acknowledgement to country. I recognise that a lot of people have worked long and hard for recognition and acknowledgement as First Peoples of the land. So in that way I get it. But in another way it's become a formality that a lot of people are unsure about within themselves, are uncomfortable about because they don't want to get it wrong, so to speak. And some people just tick the box because they have to. But once again, it's like there's no connection to what's actually occurring, the words. And because it happens so often as a formality, it's kind of just like putting sugar in your tea. It's a habit and slowly becomes this thing that you don't even know when you started doing it, and you're not sure if you're going to stop doing it, or even if you need it at all. So I recognise that a lot of First Peoples who work in organisations that are the go-to people get tired of being the go-to people, because we're wondering, why should we be the ones who have to acknowledge what we're already aware of? Have a go, step up. If that's part of the tapestry of your organisation or part of what you believe in that you need to be doing, then step up and do it. It's not something that you need to play out as rhetoric. It's not a thing of, it's not follow the script, you know, and then you've done it, you've got it right. It's not that at all. It's not even this. It's not even having at the bottom of your website or the bottom of your email that you acknowledge country and the people of that country and the unceded lands of so-and-so and do-do-do. Because once again, where you're really coming from, you want to show a sign of respect. But what I'm recognising, especially because I travel around so much and sit with so many people and different, what do you call it? From the riverbank to the corporate, let's say. So all styles of thinking and beliefs and ways of being. And it keeps coming back to the same old, is it's kind of superficial, even though it might be a step in the right direction. How long do things have to play out as superficial enactments? So why I say superficial is because it's not reaching the ground. It's not landing in your feet. It's not becoming an embodiment, so to speak. It's just something that's easy to say or something you think you should be doing, but there's no accountability that's arriving with that. So acknowledging country, where I'm sitting right now, I'm just going to show you, is a spectacular landscape. This is country. This is the natural world. This place right here, it's quite stunning, it's beautiful. You can hear crows calling out in the background, local mob here. And there was a little fish swimming around in this pool before, but I think he got frightened when he saw me, so he found his way out. You can see life forms clinging to the rocks here. You can see the horizon. You can see the water interacting with these beings which we're calling rocks. This is country. This is one place with so much going on. Over in the distance you can see the bay. So I'm sitting in the middle of two capes at the moment. And I love this place of interaction, where the water continually has this conversation with these rocks, shaping, relating. Not in a humanized way of thinking about relating, just simply relating because the water exists and the rocks exist simultaneously. Now, if we sit here long enough, there won't be questions or wondering. Everything will settle with the rhythm of this place, with the patterns of this place. You can see the patterns on the water as it shimmers. It's information. It's a response between the water, the wind and the rocks and the sand and any life forms in that area. Acknowledging country initially is paying attention. So let's imagine now that you're in a building and you're doing an acknowledgement to country. When I'm working with young people, with children, when we practice doing an acknowledgement to country, I often have the children just place their hand on the ground, on the floor, and imagine beyond the concrete. Imagine the land beneath the buildings. Imagine that place before all the streets were there and all the houses. Imagine that place. From the present moment, imagine that place. And you're doing it from the present moment because you are in the present moment. So simultaneously, just like the water and the rocks coexisting here, you have your buildings, you have your streets, but you also have the presence of country beneath all of that. And it's within all of that as well. It's in the walls, in the carpet, in the tables, in our clothing. It's just been changed somewhat. In acknowledging country, we are paying attention to what is. And if we're going to articulate our acknowledgement, if we're going to speak words to show that we're actually acknowledging, then we simply speak from our heart. We speak from our intelligence in relation to what it is we're paying attention to. Maybe you speak from your mind, maybe you speak from your body intelligence. And it's you acknowledging. It's not you saying what you think everyone is needing you to say or wanting to hear you say. Basically speaking true to the moment. Because each moment that you do an acknowledgement by using words to say it out loud is different. So if you're saying the same thing over and over every time, yeah, it's not really paying attention to what's going on right there and then. Sometimes it'll be raining, storming, sometimes you'll be in drought. Oh, there's that fish, he's come back. Hello. Beautiful. Maybe he never left. Yeah. An acknowledgement to country is being in presence with. So just taking a moment to pay attention. Hello, darling. Look at you. Maybe you're a mullet. Paying attention to what is actually going on and paying attention to what we can't even see that's going on. Being present. Because when you're doing that, when we're doing that, when I'm doing that, or when I'm being that, country will be aware of how what's going on around us is responding to us as well, that interaction again that's occurring. Oh, so beautiful. My way of being is my living action of acknowledgement to country. That's what it really comes back to. My way of interacting. All the words in the world can't show that. No matter how clever we might be with our words. Oh, another little one. Hello. You're faster. Here we've got a few showing up now. Everyone's coming to the party. Beautiful. Through my actions, I show how I pay my respects. They're all looking too, look. Let's see if we can have a little bit of a closer look to you guys. Hello. I may not know whose country I'm in. I may not know the name of the language groups from here. But how I interact with this landscape shows country and the spirit of place, my intent. I do sing out from my heart though when I'm wandering around, oi, through country. I often say, hello, just passing through, thank you. I don't disturb the life here. And I don't feel disturbed by the life here. So much force in these waves, so much energy. I can see the edge of where my place within this is and where I don't go with that. That's me acknowledging. So if you find yourself in the position of doing an acknowledgement to country and you're feeling awkward with it, just stop for a moment. Just pause for a moment. Pay attention. Even look around if there's a whole bunch of people sitting there or standing there in front of you. Look at all of those people because they are these rocks. They are in the landscape. Some of them have those waves occurring inside them, just as you might in that moment of time. Just be there. Drop in. Feel your feet on the ground, on the earth, on the carpet, in your shoes, wherever you are, whatever's happening. Take time to actually acknowledge where you are by looking, paying attention to, feeling how much space there is around you, between you and those others, between you and the walls, or if you're outside, between you and the horizon or sky country. Before all the words bubble out of your mouth, out of your mind, out of your body. Pay attention. Acknowledge from within your surroundings. And then if you need to speak at all, simply speak from you. Because it's truth. That's an actual acknowledgement. It's honest. Even if what you come out with is, I feel really awkward right now speaking, I'm learning to relate to this landscape. I have so much to learn and understand, but I care. I'm very grateful for what this country gives me. I'm grateful for the life that I'm living in this country. I can only imagine the thousands of generations that have walked here, that have swam in these waters, that have related to the song of this landscape and maintained it just by being within it in healthy relations for thousands upon thousands of generations. I can't even begin to comprehend, but I'm very grateful. Pay my respects. Thank you to the spirit of place. Thank you to the continual living histories, to the continuum of life. And thank you for my place in it. Thank you. Thank you, Ocean.